Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jess. It has been a minute since I did a long form video, especially with audio. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. I'm working on a custom order. I'm also in the throes of Easter, as many of you are. So you'll notice my house is a mess, and I actually debated making this video and the last video because my desk is just covered in Easter stuff that I had to move off this table to be able to design this basket. So any of you that do both, any of you that do custom orders and do street sales, any feedback you have for how you balance that, I would appreciate. I particularly love my custom orders. That's my favorite thing to do. That's what I've always done. I actually started out making baskets when I was working full-time. Before I had kids, I had a very stressful career, and the way I would relax is making baskets. So making custom baskets, I've always just spent a lot of time, and however I want to do it is how I've done it. And then getting ready for street sales, I feel like is kind of chaotic because you're just overflowed with inventory, trying to manage and juggle your space, your supplies, knowing what you have in stock, what you don't have in stock. It's a lot. So whenever I get a custom order while I'm preparing for a holiday, it seems to be a little bit stressful. And I know some basket makers will actually stop accepting custom orders during holidays, and I can certainly understand why. But any feedback you have to how you handle those two different, because it just seems so different, I would appreciate that. But this basket, I decided to do a video. So this is a custom order for a birthday for a young girl, and I decided to use this bucket. It's clear, and I'm going to show you how I sort of do fake stacking. It's a cheat way of doing it. Cheat, not cheap. There are some master stackers on YouTube. Obviously, there are some very talented designers that you can go watch their videos if you want the really tall stacks. That's something that I don't excel at. I'm not great at it. I don't have the patience, and I do not like wrapping stuff. You'll see I go out of my way to not have to wrap backers and things. I will do it if I have a huge order, but otherwise I'm going to try to figure out how to make it look stacked without actually stacking. And I saw some questions on the YouTube channel for especially the new basket makers. There's been several questions about stacking and arranging your items. So I'm just going to show you, like, this is how I do it. This is how I've sort of always done it, because I'm not great at stacking. I'm not. I never stuff my buckets enough. A lot of them I don't stuff at all. So it's just not how I've ever done it, but it's really easy to do. You just want to arrange your basket so that your highest items are in your, the top area of where your eye is caught. And then as your eye travels down, you should be able to see your items. In my opinion, and it's just a personal opinion, and what I prefer, I like things to not look too crowded and cluttered. So I do have a tendency to underfill my baskets. I usually have to go get a second opinion. But if anything sticks out to me, I will pull it right out. So how I'm doing this, I am using some packing paper. I'm going to pack it again. This is probably not the right amount. Other basket makers usually stuff them really, really well. But I like my items to sink a little bit and be in the basket. I don't like my stuff to look necessarily like it's on top of the basket or just like sort of coming out of the basket. So like my goal right now is to get the paper up to the handle hole, and I don't want it to go further than that. I don't know. It's just a mental thing, I guess. So what I've done, I wrapped it in tissue paper, and I have a hard time tucking the sides. Some people are really great at that. I'm not great with my hands with stuff like that. So I just put some paper at the bottom to be able to smooth the front and to tuck paper into those corners so there weren't huge gaps where the paper was lifting. So that's all I'm doing there. Now for my theme, I picked these two plushes. They're my main items. I want them to be completely visible, and the first thing you see when you look at this basket, everything else has to fit around it. And if it doesn't fit around it nicely, I'm going to remove it. So you'll see I'm putting some bath items and a tumbler. This particular client, their favorite color is blue. So I'm trying to stick to blues, and then their favorite character is Hello Kitty. So there's a lot of pink that I pulled into it. I got that bucket at Five Below. Just because normally for this size gift, I'm usually having to wrap a box, and I did not have that in me today because, again, Easter, I'm trying to stay off the floor because I'm finding as I get older, I can't spend as many hours on the floor doing stuff. And to wrap a box, I need a lot of room. So this was just the easiest thing to do with the amount of space I have right now. So I'm just trying to fit my items. And you'll see, like, especially the tumbler a minute ago, I kept lifting it and lifting it till you could see it. I didn't necessarily lift my whole basket, but I will lift one item at a time. I just crumple tissue paper, or if it has to go high, I will crumple packing paper and then wrap it in tissue paper. And now I'm just resituating my items to see how I can best see everything. You'll also notice that my uglier items are the items that don't match my color scheme, such as she had some candy that was in red packaging, and then I put some markers in here that are in green and yet like primary color packaging. All of that I sunk to the bottom so you can't see it, and then the candies I hid behind the plushies. And I ended up taking the journal out because there wasn't a great place for it, and I don't want it to look crowded or squished. I just want it to look nice and full. And for every person, I know that will be different. And there are some baskets I see that are so loaded, and I'm like, I wish I could do that. I try, but I always end up coming back to about this amount. So I also ended up only putting the body butter and not the body scrub. And this is the finished result. I hope y'all are having a great day. I hope you're all having a good time getting ready for Easter, and I will see you soon.